Okay, we're fine. Go ahead. Apologies.
Sorry. No, so there was a complaint regarding the container. I went out and took a look, and there's a container in a couple of parking spots. I understand you use it as a smoker for the business. Absolutely no issue with that at all. The container itself would be considered a temporary accessory structure on the property. Our ordinance kind of has it written more like that was intended for use for like situations where there's active construction going on, but nonetheless, those are allowed for up to 30 days with written consent from the zoning administrator. It's been there more than 30 days. You plan to keep it more than 30 days. And so at that point, we're in a conditional use permit territory where it's entirely up to this body whether or not they want to grant the use of it. It's existence on the property, its current use, any conditions if you feel like you would like to, within reason.
I think it's reasonable for them to have it because it's unreasonable for them to try and build an indoor smoker to conform with all the health and fire code regulations. It's hard enough to do in a purpose-built structure, let alone adapting it to an existing structure. Because I did the fire inspection. When you look at it, I don't know if you guys are Liberty Station up in Madison, their smokehouse, whatever. They don't even have a built-in the restaurant smoking unit because it's just very cost prohibitive. So I think it's a happy medium. Would I rather see it behind the building? Yes, but you don't have a door out the back. So I think that's an unreasonable request of you guys.
What was the specific complaint? You said there was a complaint. What was?
Just a complaint. There was a storage container sitting.
Okay, it wasn't
parking lot.
About lack of parking or?
I doubt it.
Okay.
But no complaint about the trailers that have been there the same amount of time.
Yep.
So Mike, is that the best place you think for it?
I mean, it's really up to you guys. The reduction in joint use ordinance that I put in here, I mean, basically you guys, or this body anyway, had approved the site plan for that shopping center to include a certain number of parking spaces that could be used at any time. I mean, I guess trailers in there, whatever, but trailers are easily moved. This could also be easily moved, but maybe a little less so. And it is kind of a structure that people will be working in and out of. So, I mean, I get it. So it is kind of an amendment to that originally approved site plan if it's going to stay in the same spot. If you wanted to keep the same amount of spaces and there is some place you could move it on the property, that would be fine. I have never heard of anyone being, of that parking lot being completely packed at all. So
I think we have to worry.
Yeah, it's not the biggest worry. I mean, if it's going to stay there for a long period of time, it might be nice to like throw a coat of paint on it at some point. But I mean, like I said, I don't have any problem with the use or anything like that. I understood the chance didn't have any problem. I don't think Chris has any problem. It's just the fact that it's not there in the parking lot. That's all.
So what's time period for this? Would this be a conditional use permit for forever? Or well, I'm trying to think of, if there get to be more tenants in the shopping area there, and there is a need for those parking stalls, potentially moving it.
Yeah, so that is a big question. Conditional use permits, unless you put something in our ordinance that states that all conditional use permits are only good for a certain period of time, they run with the property regardless of owner, as long as the use is still in place. So if you sold your business to somebody else and they kept it out there, it would be entirely fine with the way our ordinance currently reads because it runs with the property, not with the person or the business. You could work out some kind of sunset or something. You could make it be a specific date, which I think would kind of hinder you a bit. Or you could say that you could put specifically in the conditional use purpose that, the conditional use is good so long as it's used by this specific business. But like I said, otherwise it runs with the property as long as the use is there.
Can it ever be withdrawn?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, usually that's in cases where some condition of the permit has been violated and it comes back to this body and it's revoked. That can certainly happen.
But there would have to be a triggering event for it, basically. For that.
Yeah. Or like in the instance of all the really older conditional use permits we have, and we've never really inspected anything, done anything like that. Like I sent a letter to all those guys saying, hey, like no harm, no foul, but if you want to get these updated to reflect your current business practices, we can do that, no charge or whatever, just to get everything on the up and up. But you can always come back and amend a conditional use permit too. I guess it's the difference between who initiates that, whether it's the village end because of the non-compliance issue, or if it's the business end because of business need.
I mean, I don't know if you can put in a condition like that it's well maintained. I'm not sure how you break that down. And then I would say maybe it stays with the owner of the bit. Like if they change ownership, then it's reevaluated. Otherwise, you could just have a storage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take long for us to evaluate whether or not it'd be a good use again. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see your business thrive there. So I wouldn't be against it if we meet those conditions.
Yeah, I think my sensitivity is similar. I want to see them succeed and I have no issues with it being there. But I'm a little bit sensitive to Mike's point, which is if you now have neighbors of yours that they need parking and sets a different problem, a different potentially set of problems. Now, I know that's a future problem, but it's a current problem if we're doing, if this is tied to the property.
We can tie it to the business, all right? As long as
You
it's,
can, yeah.
But that still doesn't solve the problem, right? If that whole business is now occupied, like all the different properties are occupied and they need the parking spots or whatever. Again,
I will say historically, the 20+ years I've been in this community, I've never seen that parking lot approach.
And I would say, how many stalls am I entitled to?
Sure.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, and it's more just because I don't think there's another spot that you could put it. Is there? I mean,
not really. It's pushed as far back as.
I was going to say it's on the pavement right now, but is there any stretch of grass or anything to the side of the?
The only place even close would be like, and I don't even know if it would be feasible, but there's a couple of dumpsters that are kind of fenced in, fencing looking great. But and then there's like a gap right next to it. And so that's not that far away from where it currently is.
Right.
That would be possible. I don't know. I can't speak on the owner of the buildings that have here, but have anybody. I'm just saying, like, from seeing what's out there, that's like the only other feasible place that's close to his business.
That's the batter behind the building.
Yeah, but that, like you said, there's no door out of the back,
Yeah.
so that would be a hike, carrying a bunch of meat.
I was saying, the other spot, you could put it right along the east side and paint canvases on the side. If you could advertise, I mean, that's a long ways to all your product too. That's
So
And it might run into some health department issues with.
Or transporting it.
yeah, that's true.
I don't know the right answer to that. I'm just saying. I just put it out there.
So the other option is we could put a sunset date on this 5 years down the road or something like that. Maybe they'll be in a bigger, better building at that point, but to review it again at that point would be
The lease does run I signed a 5-year lease.
okay.
That's
Year and a half ago.
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, well, in August,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, so I think if you wanted to go that way, we just have it wrong with the lease. I just get the information when your lease terminates, and that way you just re-up at the same time.
Okay.
If you want to do that.
Fair enough.
All right. I'll make a motion that we approve the condition.
So I guess I just want to express my 3 concerns, I guess, are, exactly what was just talked about, a sunset, tie it to the lease, that's fine with me. I'd like to see it kept well maintained because it is being used for cooking. I would like to see it, presentable. And I'm not saying you're not doing anything right. I haven't walked past there recently, but if try to keep it clean, I'm thinking of like grease running out of it, or the worst case scenario that everyone puts in their head. I don't want to see something like that. And along with that, I guess I wouldn't mind, if you can find the time to put a coat of paint on it or something, maybe put your logo on it or something. Just to
we had a local artist come in, a couple months ago or during the winter and, we got some ideas for one, but we can't do that till springtime. So that is in the works to make it look a little nicer, you know? I was thinking maybe even having some farm animals on there. Maybe somebody wants to come take pictures in front of it or something for Facebook, you know, whatever.
Before and after?
Yeah. So, I'm always up for aliens. Yeah, there you go, exactly. Something fun like that.
That was a bad joke.
Yeah. Like,
It's part of it.
Named this cow Baby, love the baby, and then one day we had a barbecue at the sewer plant and we ate Baby.
yeah. That's all I got.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit. With following conditions, sunset date of
the current lease for the property.
what else do you have to move it, maybe move it to more,
Do you want a sunset or do you want a review date?
a review date, I'm
Review
sorry,
date.
review date, yeah, I'm sorry, a review date. And that the improvements to the appearance of the
Structure.
Yeah, structure, to make it a little more, you know, and new paint, yeah, I think a coat of paint and logo on there would be great, so.
Sure.
And
I mean, you guys would inspect it anyways. That was one of the other conditions he had in here. So, yeah, health department.
Serves food, it's gonna be well inspected.
So I'll just leave it at that.
I'll second that.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? None, I would entertain a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the additional use permit.
So it's an approval. What we'll do is write the resolution and bring that resolution to you guys next month and then have that signed and then it'll go on from there. It's kind of like we did with the previous
Yeah.
CUP we did in January.
Moving along to old business.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
food.
Sorry for the headache. Thank
I get it. Thanks, guys.
To keep us moving along, we'll move on to old business, discuss and consider Badger Trail's final plat. When I click on the link, it pulls up stuff for Baker's Woods.
Well, that's because I fixed it somewhere. I fixed the agenda to say Bakerwood's Phase 3. It is the final plat for Bakerswood Phase 3.
Oh, so we're not talking about,
We're not talking about Badger Trails here tonight. No, this is
The comments earlier, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be interesting.
no, this is Bakerswood's final plat. Sorry, Friday was a rough. Or Monday, I'm sorry, I put this up Monday. There is a Badger Trails annexation later and I got them mixed up when I was trying to write. We got to change some names, less B names, more something else.
where to go?
I know. I live on, got a lot of Bell roads, a lot of Bakers, a lot of Badgers.
So
Anyway, the agenda has been updated to call this Bakerwood's Phase 3
Yeah.
final plat. Sorry.
Anyone have any discussion, conversation points on this?
Beaten down.
Yeah, it's,
This is what the board has already looked at, you guys have already looked at, you've already approved preliminary plat, didn't really change. Kevin provided some comments, but
you. This comments had been addressed. The only thing is, here, let me just pull this up real quick so I can get. Yeah, here we go. Number 4, under Kevin's general comments, the ownership of lot 37. So that does need to be taken care of before the final plat's recorded.
they've gotten all of their permits from the states and all that, they are ready to go. They've already started doing a little work out there with utilities because of construction, but we kind of told them that's on their own dime, that if you guys change something, it's their own risk. I don't expect anything to change, but you guys have wanted to, they do that going in, so.
I guess the biggest, I know one of the bigger things we had was addressing public space. We feel that's adequately addressed.
think so, because
Yeah.
we adjusted, I think that's the whole reason why we went to a PUD is to allow for almost a acre of park space, if I'm not mistaken.
And they gave us the acre, and we're already working with our engineers to design the park.
Outstanding. So what's the hang up on the lot 37 then? Just the,
Yeah, so the village as it stands right now is not an additional owner,
okay.
and we would need to be listed as additional owner. Oh, Kevin's here. Never mind. Why am I talking about Kevin? I forgot you were coming.
Ian, I would
Is
say,
that-
the-
Is that the
Can you
park
guys-
space? We can hear you, Kevin.
okay, I was just gonna say, the village will probably have to be listed as an additional owner and sign off on the plat as an owner as well. They were gonna decide whether, so lot 37 is the existing well site, and right now they have it included, but nothing is changing on that, so they don't have to have that lot included. But across the street from the well site, directly to the east, is an outlot that the village owns from the previous first edition, and there's a small amount of dedicated right of way there. So that lot is changing. So the village will just have to, it'll be one extra sign off by the village. They'll be signing off as owners. There'll just be two owners on it. And they'll decide on the well site. It's really, like I said, they were gonna look at the lot 37 one. But the village will have to, just because they own outlot, can't remember what the outlot is right across the street, but that was previously platted and owned by the village.
Hey everybody, hey Kevin, this is Mike with Arc Design, the engineer on this project. We actually discussed this internally and thought it would be cleaner and easier if we just excluded that lot from the plat, just to prevent that extra signature block and to avoid adjusting the right of way along the well lot.
But I think you'll still have to, because the lot on the east of the well site is an outlot that's owned by the village. So I think the village will still have to sign off where you're dedicating like a, I don't know, I'll call it a 5-foot stripper right away there.
Yep.
So the village will still have to sign off as an owner, but the well lot isn't changing or anything. So
Exactly.
Are we approving? I think that is the intent to approve the final plat.
I believe you have to, it's a approval and a recommendation to the, goes to the village board. So you're recommending the approval to the village board of the final plat.
I will make a motion to recommend the final plat for approval to the village board.
With the conditions and Kevin's letter.
Yeah,
March 7th.
I mean, that's the legalese of addressing the.
Second.
Any other conversations, discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Moving into new business, discuss and consider certified survey map application for 447 South Park Street. It's an application to divide a lot into two parcels, correct?
Yep. I don't know if it's here, but it's plenty of room. Both lots would conform to the zoning ordinance, no problems, no issues. With the exception of one lot that's encroaching and kind of split between the west property line and the adjoining land that is owned by Petrie for the future Badger Trails subdivision. So, yeah.
That's just a little, one little shed sits on its skids, so they can pull it.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
The discussion, comments, questions, concerns?
I'll move we approve the certified survey map for 447 South Park Street.
Second,
I'll second it.
great. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing no opposition, that passes through this body. Back to the village board, then next.
No, that CSM's just get approved by y'all. They're good to go.
Done deal, good to go. All right, discuss and consider certified survey map application for 150 Service.
This is just adjusting lot lines between three properties, kind of cleaning up a property there. it really has no effect on any of the setbacks for any of the current properties. Everything would still be well within the conditions of the zoning code. All good.
I will make a motion to approve the certified survey map for 150 service. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? There are no oppositions. The DSM application for 150 service is passed. Item C, new business. Excuse me. Discuss and consider ordinance 2025-03, annexing property located in the town of Exeter, Greene County to the village of Belleville.
So this is a kind of a stamp in the sense that the village has already approved the annexation or annexation petition, the development agreement to annex that property into the village. You guys technically have to approve the ordinance that will make that recommendation to the village board. So in that sense, we've already discussed it. You're not looking at the plat. You're not looking at anything on the development. It's just, does the village plan commission approve that property being annexed into the village? And that you will have many on what it'll look like and all that kind of stuff. All the departments, fire, EMS, police, will have their comments on this. This is more of a.
So basically, this is east of the Badger State Trail and south of, I guess, be School Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Badger Trail.
Yeah.
Property. Yeah, and north of their property.
This is also a recommendation to the board, right?
It will be, you'll be ready
Yes.
to the board. We have already, so the development agreement is in place. So once this happens and the board approves it, our next step will be CARPC, which is the Capital Area Regional Planning Commission. That'll be on behalf of the village. The village will also, once the board approves on Monday, will go to the DOA and start all that processes. And then fun begins with actually the plats and the preliminary plats and the site reviews and yeah.
And the DOA shouldn't take very long at all, since it's a unanimous.
Hershey will be the big.
I think probably DOA will be less than 30 days.
And they want to start this fall, if at all possible, have one session going this fall and then the other one in the next spring. So they're ready to move.
To be recommend ordinance 2025-03, annexing property located in the town of Exeter to the village of Belleville.
Your second.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries with one no. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Don't move. Second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned at 6:34.